Hey everyone, Andang here for some more Lord of the Rings Online. This is once again that time to make our way back into Lotro, and today I just want to talk about how I've been making my way back into raiding in Lotro for the first time in like 10 years. Way back with Rise of Isengard, I actually had a raiding kin and was really into raiding. I could tell you anything about like any of this stuff around that time, between the Saruman fight or the 3-mans or 6-man. Just love that content, and played so much of it, had so much fun with friends, and honestly that's one of the best times I've had in Lotro, was back in 2011 going through Rise of Isengard. Then 2012 came along, and we got Riders of Rohan, and the kin fell apart first of all, but also the experience with Riders of Rohan was not like it was, nowhere near as cool. The fights just weren't as neat as it was with Rise of Isengard for me, and I think a lot of other players, at least in my kinship. And so basically we just completely stopped raiding. And I just dove into like story and stuff like that in Lotro instead. Then with Helm's Deep, man, epic battles, no raids. Yeah, I completely got out of raiding. And when actual good raids started being released again in Lotro, I didn't get back into them. And years went by, and I was just assuming that I'd never be getting back into raiding again in Lotro. For one thing, I didn't have a group. And when you don't have a group, it's really hard to do raids at any sort of a serious level. And doing raids for fun is a totally different beast. It's not the same at all. And of course, raiding in itself is fun, but it's a little bit different when you're trying to seriously do higher end content. Then out of the blue, I get an offer from a kinship to take me through group content and also sponsor the stream. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Because I'd been looking for a group for a long time, not actively, but that was like the main reason why I hadn't been raiding. And so for you, everybody on YouTube, you might be surprised, but I've actually been, for the last, as of recording, the last like 2 months, just going hard on raiding and getting all sorts of gear. I went from like green and purple gear to now all blue and gold. And so it's a huge upgrade for our character. We've done T1 content on all the raids. We've also done T2 content completed on 2 of the raids. And I've been really helped out by players that are way better at the game than I am, and it's been really fun just to go through that. But I didn't really feel like I belonged in like the T2 scene until recently. This week, as of this recording, which it's the last week of August when I'm recording this, of 2021. Can't believe it's 21 already. Anyway, when I was grouping with a recent group, we were doing Fall of Kazzad-dûm Tier 2, which I hadn't completed before. And it was probably the most amazing experience I've ever had raiding, and I didn't even stream it. And maybe that's why it was so good, because I was really focused. I had just enough time to do this raid, and everything went perfectly. Every single player knew the mechanics, was following the mechanics, and was properly geared for the fight. And when all of that comes together and you have people executing perfectly all of these fairly challenging mechanics, it's really satisfying. And it's something I hadn't felt since 2011 when I was raiding with my old kin. But I think this went even smoother than that did. It was just amazing how well it went. Everybody knew exactly where they were supposed to be and were doing what they were supposed to when they were supposed to be doing it. And if any like minor corrections need to happen, that they happened. It was really satisfying to see. There were like a few minor things where I think one player got killed as well unintentionally, as well as the tank that intentionally got killed at one point. But other than that, it was completely flawless. Everybody was moving out of the way when like ceilings were falling, and moving into shadow when flames were happening, and it was really cool to see everybody at the top of their game. And for the first time, and I know I was helped immensely, but for the first time I actually felt like I'm doing a good job and I should definitely be here as part of this raid, and I'm actually doing everything I'm supposed to and helping the group together achieve the goal of doing a pretty close to flawless run. It was super satisfying to see, and I'd been meaning to make a video like this for basically 2 months now, explaining what's been going on. But I didn't feel like I was ready yet, because I felt like I didn't, I was being carried through the content. And this is the first time where I was like, all right, I earned this fight and won it. And that was really satisfying. And so I'm really excited to keep raiding in Lotro. For sure going to be raiding in Gundabad. Can't wait to be going through that. And hit the ground running at the start. I'm still so far behind on my gearing process, because I'm basically trying to get 2 years of gearing done in 2 months. So you could imagine how that could be a bit of an issue. And it's probably going to take another 2 months or whenever Gundabad releases for me to get even close to actually like getting where I want to be on this character, which is, have all the best of everything that's at least available at the time. So why am I making this video? I think, one, to just share my experience. I've been having a lot of fun and I want other players to have fun. Two, I think that there's a whole part of the game, which is the Endgame, that I just assumed because of my previous experiences with Riders of Rohan and especially Helm's Deep, that for some reason I assumed that the rating just wasn't as good as it used to be. And part of that is also because of dev comments that were made over the years. There's quotes and stuff. I'm not going to get into all that. But basically, there were community and dev posts that had the general idea of Lotro's not a rating game. And that couldn't be further from the truth, and it's been really fun to interact with everybody on the rating scene on Landerville. I'm sure there's awesome rating scenes on other servers like Arkenstone and others as well, I'm sure. Probably every server. But it's just been really fun. As a little bit of a side note, I don't know why I'm bringing this up now, but here we go. I feel like the legendary servers for Lotro are really hurting the in-game scene and also the low-level scene. I remember it didn't matter when you were playing Lotro, whether it was like an expansion just came out or a lot later. At least on Landerville, there'd always be like low-level alts going through all that content before. And ever since the legendary servers came out, it's really split up the player base. And I'm glad the legendary servers exist. Don't get me wrong. I think that they're a great idea, and it's really cool to be leveling with your friends like that at the same time, going back through a lot of the old content. But it's really hurting the live servers. I guess they're all live servers, but the standard servers, the classic main servers, and I think that is definitely negatively impacting the community of the servers. And I wish it wasn't. For example, they recently released Mordor, I believe, on the Legendary servers, and I've noticed that there are way less players going through the Endgame content now. It's much harder to get groups together and things like that. Luckily, I'm part, working with a raiding kinship, and they are awesome about making sure that groups are getting done and things are happening, and it's been really fun to see. And frankly, it's just fun to be amongst friends again in an MMO. Of course, I had like streamer friends and chat friends, but as far as in-game friends that would run serious content, I just didn't have that. I'd have people help me out with quests and stuff, but I didn't have enough people to get together to do like a full raid and it not be mostly pugged. And so it's been really fun to see that whole experience come about. So anyway, let me know in the comments down below if you guys do raiding, if you enjoy it currently, what could maybe be improved, or if you think it's just great where it's at and you're just having a lot of fun. I think I'm just having a lot of fun. I really hope that the Gundabad instances are fun as well. The Minas Morgul War of the Three Peaks cycle of 130 has been fantastic, I think. There might have been better stuff in the past, but I just didn't experience it. But I know that I'm enjoying what's going on right now. And it's really satisfying to see so many other players enjoy it as well. And so that makes me like nervous, but also excited about what's coming up in Lotro's future. I think Lotro definitely has its brightest days ahead of it, especially with conversations I've had with Lotro's producer and other people in the community. It just seems like Lotro's getting ready to have an up and up moment. And I hope Gundabad can help facilitate that instead of squander it. I think Gundabad will be a good expansion. They had War of the Three Peaks, which wasn't a good one. So it's hopefully time to be, another good one. We'll see, though. But if you follow practices that they done, I'd say Mines of Moria was good. Mirkwood was good, but it was, smaller. Rise of Isengard was good. Both Rohan expansions, I think, fell short of at least my expectations. Mordor wasn't that great, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as Rohan. Minas Morgul was awesome. The mini expansion War of the Three Peaks was not. Hopefully this next one's really good. I was trying to find a pattern, but there wasn't one there, so that's good. That's good. That means anything could happen, and hopefully it'll be good. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in watching some of my raiding content, I haven't really been sharing it here on YouTube because it's really hard to get, for me, to get good highlights from raiding. Even though I think they're really good streams, it just doesn't translate the best to YouTube sometimes. So if you're interested, check out down below. There's a link to my Twitch. Go over there and follow if you haven't already. I know most of you over here on YouTube aren't. So if you're interested, check that out. You're missing out on a lot of really fun content and good times. Also, September is coming up because remember I'm recording this at the end of August. It'll probably already be here by the time you're there. And I have a lot of good stuff planned. I can't talk about any of it, but man, I think there's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening on my channel. And I'm super excited about it. So hopefully you guys will be able to experience that as well. Anyway, take care. Have a great rest of your day. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Share your comments about this down below. If you'd like to see more of these videos, talk about that too down below. And I'll see you guys again real soon for more content. Take care and have a great rest of your day. I've never ended that way. That was kind of awkward. Hope just like the video. Just peace.
you.